Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. And peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now, we are going to get right back into Black Stars, African American women writers. And the next writer that I have for you is Ntozake Shange. And here is her picture right there. Born during the time period of 1948. So, without further ado, it reads as such. Now, almost 20 years had passed since Lorraine Hansberry, Raisin in the Sun, before there was another Broadway production by a black woman. With the production of Four Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. Ntozake Shange became the second woman to achieve this distinction. Born Paulette Williams in Trenton, New Jersey, on October 18th, the artist, like many of her peers, changed her name to protest her westernized name, the slave name she inherited, and the oppression it signified. Ntozake Shange's new name came from the Zulu language and means she who comes with her own things, and she who walks like a lion. Like Hansberry, Shange came from the upper class family. Her father, Paul T. Williams, was a surgeon, and her mother, Eloise Williams, a psychiatric social worker and educator. They moved to St. Louis, Missouri when Shange was 8 and bused her to a formerly segregated German American school. Like many proud African American parents, the Williamses felt that being part of the early experiment to integrate schools was a good and noble thing. Ntozake Shange would later fictionalize the harsh experience in her novel, Betsy Brown, 1985. The Williams family returned to Trenton when Shange was 16. The isolation she had experienced as part of the desegregation experiment made her introspective and an avid reader. Some of the authors she read as a teenager were Dostoevsky. I'm going to spell that for you. I don't know if I said that correctly, but it's Dostoyevsky. Melville, Carson McCullers, Edna Street, Vincent Millay, and Simone de Beauvoir. Don't know if I said that correct either, y'all, but I'm going to spell it for you. And it's Simone D-E, last name Beauvoir. This was the basis of her early interest in the exploration of ideas. With parents who were both socially and politically active, she was exposed to prominent people, such as entertainers Josephine Baker, Chuck Berry, Charlie Parker, and Miles Davis. The scholar activist W.E.B. Du Bois was also a frequent visitor in her parents' home. Shange earned a BA from Barnard College in New York in 1970 and an MA in English Literature from Berkeley the following year. She was married and divorced from a law student, and she taught women's and African American studies from 1972 to 1975 at various institutions in California. While living on the West Coast, she formed friendships with artists who shared her interest in politics. Shange began reciting poetry and performing with dance groups. And it was in this setting that she developed her play, Colored Girls. Produced in 1976 by Joseph Papp at the Public Theater in New York City, Shange's play are choreo poems performed with dance and music, had an enthusiastic reception. It won an Obie Off-Broadway award. And the spelling of the award is OBIE, okay? Which led to the play's Broadway production. Shange received national and international acclaim. The staging of the production featured 7 women dressed in rainbow colors, reciting the day-to-day struggles of the black woman in 14 poems. Through words, drama, and dance, the women address issues of self-esteem, relationships with men, and female friendships and support. Colored Girls was largely applauded by contemporary black women who up until this point had never had a public forum to express so many of their thoughts and emotions. Throughout the choreo poem, there are instances when women speak of love and the need to be in partnership with black men. But once again, critics focus only on a negative male character of Beau Willie, a spouse abuser. Ntozake explained to her critics that she wrote the character based on having overheard a man physically abuse a woman. As a man beat the woman unmercifully, he laughed out at her screams of agony. Hearing this and recalling that she herself experienced the same torment, Ntozake, she decided to write about it. For critics touting the time-worn adage that the black community, shouldn't air their dirty laundry, Shange had declared, "I will not be part of this conspiracy of silence. I will not do it. It is my responsibility to break the silence, to break this silence." The author made these comments in Black Women Writers at Work, explaining further about why she wrote Colored Girls. Shange says that she wanted to give her younger women information that she did not have. Other notable Shange plays are Boogie Woogie Landscapes, 1978, and Spell No. 7, 1979. Besides plays, Shange had written a collection of poetry, prose, and fiction. Her poetry and prose include National Disasters and Other Festival Occasions, 1977, See No Evil, Prefaces, Essays, Accounts, 1976 to 1983, 1984, Riding the Moon in Texas, Word Paintings, 1987, and If God Can Cook, So Can I, 1998. Her novels are Sassafras, I don't know if I said that correctly, y'all, Sassafrass, Cypress, and Indigo, 1982, and Betsy Brown, 1985. The literary assaults to which Ntozake, Shange was subjected were probably the most mean-spirited since those launched against Zora Neale Hurston. Sadly, she would not be the last to feel the heat as more women dared speak up and tell their stories. Ntozake Shange survived the criticism and jealousy that came with her success. If there are emotional scars, the artist wears them well. And she continues to write and perform with great style. Now here is a picture. There's another picture I have for you right there. I'm going to read the section at the bottom that says Ntozake Shange's for colored girls who have considered suicide when a rainbow is enough. Jacket cover features a beautiful drawing of the playwright. And Breaking the Silence has a little short section right here, which it says, here is what Ntozake has to say. To break the silence is my responsibility, and I'm absolutely committed to it. When I die, I will not be guilty of having left a generation of girls behind thinking that anyone can tend to their emotional health other than themselves. And that does complete the little section, Breaking the Silence. And this does complete the section on Ntozake Shange. So I want for you to be well, take care, and it be it thy will, I will speak with you soon here on Poem Praise 2 for our next African American writer. I'm going to just give you a preview of what I have for you. The next one coming up is Terry McMillan. So, until next time, later, y'all.